God created a world, a universe that is made up of time, space, and purpose. So a conscious human being introduces purpose, and that changes the nature of the universe. There's something that is fascinating. I don't have it completely worked out in my own mind, but it's relevant to the giving of the Torah, and I think it may be intriguing for something to think about. One of the things that it says about the event at Sinai is that the mountain was shaking, and it was oshan, a flame or burning or ashes. The word oshan is spelled ayin shin nun. And it stands for the three words olam shana nefesh. Olam means the space of the earth. Shana means time, like year. And nefesh means the presence of a conscious being. If we want to understand what this creation is all about, the Torah says, creation consists of olam shana nefesh. That's space, time, and mindful people. For the longest time, my assumption was that, well, according to science, certainly according to Einstein, the definition of the universe is a time-space continuum. If you ask any scientist or any philosopher, the world is made up of time and space. The third ingredient, nefesh, seemed like more of a justification or purpose to the existence of time and space, but the universe was time and space. What is the purpose of this time-space universe? That comes from the person who has freedom of choice, who can choose good or bad. But that's not what it says. What it says is the physical universe, the creation, is made up of three ingredients: time, space, and consciousness. Most recently, scientists have discovered that the physical condition of light changes when a person is present. When you add the presence of an observer, the physical condition changes. What that is actually saying is that the world is not made up of two ingredients. It's actually made up of three ingredients. So if you had time without space, it wouldn't be the world that we know. If you had space without time, it wouldn't be the physical universe that we're familiar with. The same is true. If there was time and space, but no human presence, no human awareness, it would not be the universe we see. Our presence and our awareness of the world is the third ingredient that makes the world what it is. We are not uninvited guests on this planet. We're not the clutter or the spoilers of nature. We are the third pillar that makes nature what it is. I'm not sure exactly what the significance, the full significance of this. When you do a mitzvah by your free choice, and you are an integral part of the physical existence of the universe, when you do a mitzvah, or even when you choose to do the mitzvah, the object of the mitzvah is transformed. It becomes something different. May not be visible to the eye, but very little of reality is visible to the eye. So the Torah says that the future or the destiny of the world is in our hands. Again, for the longest time, that sounded like the destiny of human experience, whether we will have a peaceful world or a world full of war and agony, that depends on us, obviously. But that's not what the Torah is saying. The Torah is saying that the actual existence of the physical universe is determined by us, by our presence and by our positive or negative input. So when another statement in the Gemara, in quoting God, where God says, if I had not needed the 613 commandments to be observed, I would not have created heaven and earth. And again, that sounds like heaven and earth are the creation. The 613 mitzvahs justify, give purpose to the creation. But the creation would be the same with or without us. And that's not what it's saying. It's saying that the creation of the world includes the mitzvahs. God created a world, a universe that is made up of time, space, and purpose. So a conscious human being introduces purpose, and that changes the nature of the universe. It's an amazing thought. And the implications are quite awesome. We can not only change the mood of people in the world by teaching them Torah. You actually change the physical reality. Well, this makes everything more meaningful and different. What's going to happen when Mashiach comes? What's going to happen in the world to come? The dead will come back to life. We will live forever. There will be no death. There will be no pain. Death and pain are not only the product of misbehavior on the part of human beings. There's death in nature. Scientists predict the death of the sun. The sun is going to die out. Not because of our sins, but because it's a physical object. It only has so much energy. It won't, according to Torah. But the scientists are speculating that another 2 billion years and the sun is going to be gone, burnt out. So destruction, death, is built into nature. Things grow old, things decay. In the world to come, that's not going to happen. Will that be a change in nature, a whole new universe, different laws of nature? Not necessarily. If we and our free choice and our presence is an indispensable, intrinsic part of the universe at its very existence, our presence, when we do what we're supposed to do and fulfill the purpose for which we are created, that naturally changes the nature of the time-space continuum, because we are the third ingredient. So as one ingredient becomes more dominant, it changes. The universe changes. So on the one hand, we say, in the world to come, there will be miracles, and on the other hand, there's nothing new under the sun. So it will seem miraculous, but it's all part of nature. So what we do, how we serve God, how we look at the universe, how we even think of the universe affects the universe. So if we look at the universe as an independent existence without a creator, we destroy the universe. It's a distortion. Our opinion is not merely an opinion. It's the third ingredient in the substance of this planet, both heaven and earth. If we think positive, if we recognize the creator of the universe, we enhance its existence. It becomes healthier, it becomes more real, it becomes more godly. To the point where eventually the decay will stop, the limitations will fall away. It won't be impossible to live 200 years or 300 years. It'll be natural, because we changed the balance of the ingredients. Time and space are different because we are present. But our presence is not as powerful physically as the space of the universe or the time, movement, and change in the universe. When we keep the mitzvahs properly, our influence, the third ingredient in the universe, our influence becomes stronger, time changes, and space changes. Pretty interesting. And Jewish scholars knew this 3,000 years ago. So, to celebrate Shavuos properly, we have to gain a whole new respect for Torah, for its wisdom, for its scholars, for its students, for those who preserved it over 3,000 years, kept it alive, kept it intact, kept it fresh, inspiring, always something new and deeper and better. So here we are in the final generation, before all of the goodness and all of the holiness that we human beings invested in the world for the last 3,000 years is ready to blossom. We put all the seeds in the ground. We plowed the soil. We weeded the fields to save the plants from the weeds. We did it all. It's time to see some blossoming of the beauty of what we planted. And we are the generation that will get to see it first. Here's another interesting thing. Talk about the Torah. We're talking about 613 commandments given to the Jewish people. It's the Torah of Israel, from the God of Israel, for the people of Israel. What about the rest of the world? So Rambam makes a fascinating and important statement. There are 7 commandments that all human beings must observe to be righteous, to serve God's purpose. So any non-Jew who keeps these 7 commandments properly is a righteous Gentile. However, the Rambam says, there's one condition. They have to keep the 7 commandments because that's what we were told in the Torah through Moshe. So imagine if there was a group of non-Jews who are descendants of Noah, which we all are, but this group remembers what Noah taught his children, the 7 commandments. They're actually called the 7 Noahide laws. So imagine Noah taught his children before the flood, after the flood, that they have to keep these 7 commandments. And so today, there are people alive who keep the 7 commandments. Why? It is the teaching, the wisdom, and the instructions of Grandpa Noach. Rambam says that is not a righteous Gentile. It's a good man, but not a righteous Gentile. The righteous Gentile is someone who keeps the 7 commandments because the Torah given through Moshe says that that's what they should do. So the giving of the Torah is actually a celebration, or should be a celebration, an anniversary for all human beings. Because on the day of Shavuos, we got our 613 commandments, and the Gentile received the 7 commandments. So it's not only the Jew who should celebrate this anniversary and be in awe of what it is we received. Non-Jews should do it too. Because this is where their opportunity to be a righteous Gentile and the manner in which they can become, the method in which they can become righteous Gentiles, this was given at Mount Sinai 3,330 years ago when God came down to the mountain. So in some way, it should be a universal holiday. Wouldn't that be nice? Imagine everyone in the world celebrating one holiday together. I also think that Rosh Hashanah should be celebrated by all people. We were all created on Rosh Hashanah. It is the beginning of creation. So I don't know exactly how, but non-Jews should celebrate Rosh Hashanah. Maybe not by blowing a shofar or by dipping an apple in honey, but in some way, the day should be significant to all human beings. Probably that's what's going to be when the world becomes normal. So let's celebrate our anniversary. This is when our connection to God became really personal. This is the beginning of bringing God down to earth, which is the entire purpose of Judaism and Torah. It started at Mount Sinai, and we've been at it ever since. We did a pretty good job. I think God would agree to that. In fact, we did a magnificent job because God kept putting handicaps in our way, and we overcame them all. So now is time to see the fruits of our labor. The universe has been charged, electrically charged, with the mitzvahs that we do, with the positive energy that we add to the time and space. And it's time for the world to explode with goodness. Time and space itself has to start sprouting holiness. Actually, he says, after Mashiach comes, if you reach out to pluck a fruit off the tree, and every tree will have fruit. When you reach out to pluck a fruit off the tree on Shabbos, the tree will say, don't, it's Shabbos. Which means time and space, the physical existence of the tree, will be conscious of its godliness. Our presence makes a huge difference. It makes the world what it is, not a foreign object. So have a wonderful Yom Tov. Eat some blintzes. We eat dairy in the morning and then meat in the afternoon. So enjoy both. We stay up the first night, saying words of Torah, celebrating our gift, and we charge ourselves, inspire ourselves for another year of making the world godly. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that, and that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. I want to invite you to join us as VIPs, partners in our work, and join us also for a personal chat with other members of the VIP club. We talk about many things. There's an opportunity to ask, to respond, to make a comment, to meet the other supporters. And together we can really make a difference in Jewish life and in life in general. So join us. It's goodtoknow.org. Log in, call, make contact, and join us with the VIPs.